St. Peter Indian Mission School. You are viewing right now our first school, an adobe building built in 1923, which in the front room housed 12 students and their teacher, Mr. Chico Vincent. And the back room is where Chico, his wife Edith, and their 8 children lived. This is the first school. The first building at St. Peter's Mission was a sacred place, the church. This is the second St. Peter's Church, built of adobe bricks by our people and the Franciscan friars in the 1930s. The first structure, built in 1910, was a wood frame church that burnt down. In our school history, the Sisters of St. Joseph of Orange lasted a little more than 2 years at the mission. They left on the last day of school before Christmas in 1935 because of the isolation of the mission. Our sisters arrived on December 27, 1935, enough time to get lessons ready and begin school in January of 1936. And our community, the Franciscan Sisters of Christian Charity, have been here ever since. As the enrollment grew, our people got together in the spring and summer of 1932 and made enough adobe bricks to add a 2-room addition to the school. The first room was called the Beginners. It was pre-K through 2nd grade. The second room, the same size, was for 3rd grade through 6th grade. In 1932, they also built our first convent. We call it the Adobe Convent now. It's made of adobe in hopes that a community of sisters would come. And later that year, 3 sisters of St. Joseph of Orange, California came to staff the mission along with Chico and Edith. In 1938, again, the people got together making adobe bricks and built the school cafeteria. This is the original building. It's been repaired and enhanced since then, but this is the dining room. We don't call it a cafeteria, we call it a dining room where our children eat. Enrollment continued to grow, and in 1946, after the young men came home from the war, the people again got together and added another room, room 3, to the school. And this room housed the 7th and 8th graders. In 1954, a 4th classroom was added, the largest room, which is now our music and art room. So by 1954, we had one wing of the school. The first room was beginners, kindergarten, 1st and 2nd. Second classroom, room 2, was 3rd and 4th. Room 3 was 5th and 6th. And room 4 was 7th and 8th. When I was missioned came to St. Peter's in 1971, this was how school was taught. I was sent to the Menominee Reservation in 1974 until 1988. And upon returning to St. Peter's in 1988, it was exactly the same except that the first room was first and second grade. There were no kindergarten classes. In 1989, through a mistake, the Maricopa County Accommodation District gave us a modular unit for kindergarten room. We hired a young teacher from Kansas whose dad was chaplain at Williams Air Force Base. Then the magic began. The blessings began. In 1992, the United States Air Force, the 82nd CE, the civil engineers, built this addition to our school. 4 classrooms and an office area. They supplied the manpower, many of the materials, and a lot of great rapport with our children. We had very poor restroom facilities and an enrollment of over 160 children. In 1994, we met Mr. Jogiagio, and in 1997, he and his friends had a restroom facility built and a shower facility built, which is just amazing. 1995, we wrote a grant to the Phoenix Suns requesting a basketball court. This is the court. And in 2006, the NIH, the National Institute of Health, put up this covering over the court in gratitude for everything we do to offset the onset of diabetes among our children. In October of 1997, there was groundbreaking for a new convent for the sisters. There were now 6 of us, and it was a little tight in our adobe convent. Greg Hancock of Hancock Community surprised us by building us this 7-bedroom, 3,800 square foot home, which we greatly appreciate. In 1999, our friend Jogiagio had a feast house built for the parish community. This is a building where the parish feast is held every June and outdoors. It is also a place where wakes are held. People gather to pray rosaries for special events, for different occasions. Birthday parties are held here. It's like a parish hall. Joe also recognized that our children needed a decent place to run and to play. And normally this field is green. The track surrounds it. Joe and the Association of Golf Superintendents built and irrigated this field in 2000, June of 2000. And it is loved by all. In 2008, Joe asked us what was next on our wish list. And we told him we really needed a computer room and a library. A classroom was being used for the library and we were outgrowing it. So Joe got together with his friends, and in 2009, this building was dedicated, and Joe said we could name it. So we named it the Jogiagio Learning Center, where every child is a gift. A library with a wonderful collection and a computer lab that has 30 computers. One of our great needs was a school office, and in 2009 we were contacted by a community activist asking us to tour an apartment complex where the owner, it was recession time, the owner wanted to get rid of this building that you're looking at. So he invited 5 nonprofits up, and it's a modular unit with 4 rooms. It now houses the office, the nurse's office, a maintenance room, and a community room, which is the faculty room, plus 4 or 5 bathrooms. We kind of got it by default because we were the only ones who could afford to move it from Tempe to the Mission. And we named it after the gentleman who moved it for us. We called it the St. Christopher House because Chris Boyles, a businessman in Tempe, knows a man who moves buildings for a living. So he donated his services. Otherwise, it would cost $100,000 to move it with all the permits and all the expense. So it's another blessing we have. Okay, go. In 2014, we were blessed to receive a grant from the Shea Foundation that we had written for preschool. We had been writing grants for preschool for 10 years, and finally, Mr. and Mrs. Shea answered our plea. When they came to the Mission on their tour, they said, "Sister, there's a lot you need here besides a preschool. You don't have any sidewalks, you don't have any parking lots, you don't have any lights. It looks like there's flooding because you have sandbags by your buildings. Your kitchen is only 500 square feet. The fluorescent lights in your classroom are the original ones and they don't make them anymore. And your floors are falling apart." So we said yes to everything. And they started construction in May, the day after school was out, May 26th, 2014. And on August 25th, 2014, we opened school with these beautiful changes. A preschool, a new 2,000 square foot kitchen, a renovated dining room, new floors in the whole school, fluorescent lights, sidewalks, parking lots. The Mission was fenced in, security cameras, an inter-school phone system, landscaping, 100 trees were planted, pavers in front of the church, a fiber optic system for faster internet, and new computers. I can hardly breathe. And in 2019, the Shea Miracle Part 2 took place. They built us a primary wing. This new school houses kindergarten, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd grade, plus a huge science lab that our older kids, when they're here and it's not COVID, use as a classroom. And this beautiful playground.